What terrifies people the most is not your anger, it's not your words, it's your absence. When you disappear, when you go quiet, when you stop chasing, when you stop giving them the attention they took for granted, that's when the real panic begins. Because your absence does what your presence could never do. It teaches. It teaches them what life feels like without your energy, without your love, without your kindness, your understanding, your effort. It teaches them the weight of what they lost when they treated you like you were replaceable. See, people don't learn through comfort. They learn through loss. They don't appreciate your warmth until they're standing in the cold. They don't value your presence until the silence gets too loud. You didn't lose them. They lost you. And now your absence has become the very lesson they needed to grow, but didn't want to face. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." Your absence is that change. It's the shift that shakes their reality, because you were never the one who needed to prove your worth. They were the ones who needed to earn your presence. So, before we go any further, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My absence teaches what my presence once tolerated, because in this video, we're going to uncover why your absence became their greatest lesson, and how you can continue to reclaim your power without saying a single word. This isn't about revenge. It's about rising. It's about reminding yourself that walking away in silence isn't weakness. It's mastery. And the moment you learn that, everything changes. Let's begin. Number 1. Your absence reveals your value. When you were around, they got comfortable. They thought your love was endless, your time was guaranteed, and your attention was something they could always count on, no matter how they treated you. But when you stepped back, when you finally chose peace over pain, that's when they realized something powerful. You were the source of stability in their chaos. Your absence reveals the truth they refused to see, that you were the one holding things together, that your energy, your care, and your consistency were rare, and when you removed it, everything around them started to feel emptier, colder, and lonelier. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And you reacted with grace. You didn't explode, you didn't beg, you didn't chase, you simply walked away. That silence, that composure, became your loudest statement. Because you see, your absence isn't punishment, it's perspective. It shows people the difference between your presence and your distance, and that's something they can't unseen once they feel it. Don't break your silence just to make them understand. Let time do the teaching. Hold your ground. Stay focused on yourself. Let your growth, your peace, and your glow become the answer to the questions they'll never dare to ask. Because when your energy is gone, they'll start to remember what it felt like to have it. And that memory will do all the work for you. Your absence didn't destroy them. It exposed them. Number 2. Your silence exposes their intentions. When you stop talking, you start seeing. Your silence becomes the mirror that reflects who they truly are, not who they pretended to be when you were giving them everything. People reveal themselves the most when they can no longer benefit from your presence. When the calls stop, when the texts fade, when your energy no longer fuels their ego. That's when their mask starts to slip. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And silence brings those colors to light. It exposes the truth behind their actions, their motives, their words. Because when you pull back, only those who had pure intentions will stay steady. The rest, they vanish, they fold, they get angry, they start to project guilt or pretend they never cared. But make no mistake, silence doesn't confuse the genuine, it unmasks the fake. When you stay quiet, you give people space to show their true loyalty. You'll notice who reaches out, not because they need something, but because they value you. You'll notice who tries to manipulate your peace just to pull you back into chaos. That's the beauty of silence. It's not passive, it's strategic. You're no longer reacting to their games. You're observing them from a higher ground. And in that observation, you reclaim control. Because power doesn't come from shouting your truth. It comes from being so grounded, so centered, that their noise can't shake you. The next time they test your patience, don't explain, don't argue, just watch. The way they react to your silence tells you everything you need to know. If they respect it, they respect you. If they get angry, they only ever cared about control. Let silence be your filter. Let it clear your world of people who were never real to begin with. Because once you master the art of staying quiet, you stop chasing answers and start attracting truth. Your silence doesn't confuse them, it convicts them. Number 3, your absence forces them to face themselves. When you walk away in silence, you do more than just leave. You confront them with the one person they've been running from all along, themselves. Seneca once said, "No man can escape his own company. It is a punishment to the wicked." And that's exactly what your absence becomes for them. A mirror, a reckoning, a punishment delivered not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. You see, when you were there, you absorbed their moods, their chaos, their projections. You became the emotional buffer between them and their own reflection. But now, there's no one left to absorb the impact, no one left to blame, no one left to save them from the silence, and that silence becomes loud, deafening even. It echoes with everything they said, everything they did, everything they thought they could get away with. Because your absence doesn't just remove your presence, it removes their comfort, their validation, their distraction. That's when they start replaying everything. The texts they ignored, the times they dismissed your feelings, the moments they took your loyalty for granted. They start wondering, did I push too far? Did I lose something real? Yes, they did. Your silence holds them accountable in ways your words never could. It's the consequence they never saw coming. They thought they could keep taking, and you would keep giving. They thought your love was endless, your patience eternal. But the moment you stopped showing up, they had to finally sit with what they created. And that's the power of detachment. It doesn't scream, it teaches. It teaches them what life feels like without your energy. It teaches them what real loss feels like, not through drama, but through emptiness. Don't chase closure, don't demand apologies. Let silence be the teacher. You don't need to tell them what they did wrong. The absence of you will do that job for you. Every day you stay silent, they feel it deeper. Every day you stay gone, they learn a new layer of regret. Let your absence educate them, not through pain, but through realization. Because when your silence forces them to face themselves, that's when the lesson truly begins. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence makes them face their truth. Number 4. Your absence exposes their true dependence. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. But some people don't know how to love. They only know how to use. And when you remove yourself, their entire sense of control begins to crack. Because suddenly, the energy they fed off, your warmth, your attention, your reassurance, is gone. They didn't love you for who you were. They loved you for what you gave them: stability, comfort, validation, security. You were their emotional fuel, and when you walked away, they went cold. That's when the truth becomes clear. They weren't the strong one in the connection. You were. Your emotional strength held it all together. Your patience, your loyalty, your consistency, that's what kept them feeling safe. They thought they were in control, but in reality, they were dependent on your energy the entire time. Now, your absence exposes that dependency like a spotlight on a hidden wound. They feel the emptiness. The silence they once mocked now echoes louder than ever. They start checking your profile, rereading old messages, trying to sense your energy from a distance. They stalk, they overthink, they spiral, because they're realizing the truth. They lost the one thing they can't replace. And here's the part most people don't realize. Your absence doesn't just hurt them emotionally, it disrupts their identity. They defined themselves by your presence. Your approval gave them worth. Your attention gave them confidence. Without you, they have to face the void inside, and that void terrifies them. So they act like they're fine. They post, they laugh, they pretend they've moved on. But it's all performance, because behind that show of confidence is panic. The panic of losing control over the person they thought would always be there. You flipped the dynamic the moment you stayed silent. You showed them that your presence was never guaranteed. It was a gift. And now your absence becomes the reminder that gifts can be taken back when they are not respected. Hold your silence with strength. Don't break it to comfort their guilt. Don't reply to test if they miss you. Let them feel the void they created. It's the only way they'll learn the value of what they had. You owe no explanation. You owe no closure. Your absence is the message, and trust me, they heard it loud and clear. Number 5. Silence reveals your evolution. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Silence isn't weakness. It's transformation. It's the sound of evolution happening inside you. When you stop explaining, defending, and chasing, you begin becoming. There comes a point when you stop trying to make others understand your worth and start embodying it. That's when your silence becomes your greatest statement. You no longer need to announce your growth. Your energy speaks it for you. When they no longer have access to your voice, they begin to notice your progress. They see you glowing, focused, unbothered, and moving with quiet purpose. And that's when regret starts to set in. Because the version of you they broke can't be reached anymore. It evolved into something stronger, calmer, and more powerful. They realize your silence wasn't just absence. It was evolution. While they stayed trapped in the same patterns, you were upgrading your mind, your habits, your peace. The Stoics taught that the world doesn't shape you, your response to it does. And your silence is your ultimate response. It's how you reclaim your power without saying a single word. You refuse to let anger, revenge, or desperation dictate your next move. You learn to sit with yourself. You heal. You grow. You rebuild your boundaries. You fall in love with your solitude. And then something incredible happens. Your energy shifts. You stop waiting for closure. You stop replaying conversations. You stop craving validation. You realize that silence isn't just peace. It's protection. Protection from drama, manipulation, and emotional chaos. And that's the moment you truly evolve, when you no longer need them to see your worth, because you finally see it yourself. They will sense it. They'll feel it in the way you no longer react, in the way you no longer explain, in the way you no longer give them the satisfaction of your attention. They'll miss the old you, the one who overgave, over-explained, and over-cared. But that version of you doesn't exist anymore. Use your silence as a daily practice. Every time you feel the urge to respond, pause. Ask yourself, does this serve my peace or my ego? If it doesn't serve your peace, stay silent. That's power. Your silence shows your evolution. And the more you evolve, the less they can reach you. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence is proof of my growth. Number 6. Your silence exposes their intentions. Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Let that sink in, because silence is not just self-control, it's revelation. When you stop reacting, you start seeing. The truth is, people show you who they really are when your silence removes their control. They get uncomfortable when they can no longer manipulate your emotions. They get restless when their words no longer pull a reaction out of you. And they start revealing their true motives, whether it was love, ego, or control that kept them close to you. When you were always available, they could hide behind sweet words and fake gestures. But once you withdraw your energy, they have no place to hide. Silence removes the mask. It brings truth to the surface. You'll notice something powerful. Those who were genuine will reach out with humility, with care, with understanding. Those who were fake will panic, gossip, and twist stories, because your silence forced them to face themselves. That's the beauty of self-restraint. You no longer fight to be understood. You let their actions speak for them, and the truth that comes out will hurt them far more than any words ever could. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When you stay silent, you don't stoop to their level. You refuse to give them the emotional drama they crave. You rise above, quietly, while they drown in the noise of their own insecurity. People can fake smiles, they can fake words, but they can't fake their reaction to your silence. When they lose the ability to control your emotions, they lose power. That's when you see who truly valued you, and who only valued their control over you. Observe without reacting. Next time someone tries to provoke you, stay calm and simply watch. Your silence is your filter. It separates the real from the fake, the worthy from the worthless. Remember, silence isn't the absence of communication. It's the highest form of it. It says, I've seen enough. I know who you are, and I no longer need to explain myself. Number 7. Your growth without them is their worst nightmare. Seneca once said, the greatest revenge is to be unlike the one who caused the injury. And that's exactly what happens when you stop chasing, stop explaining, and stop trying to prove your worth to someone who never saw it in the first place. When you go silent, you create space, not emptiness, but transformation. Your silence becomes the soil where your power regrows. While they're busy watching your stories, checking your posts, or asking about you through mutual friends, you're not thinking about them anymore. You're focused on becoming a stronger, calmer, wiser version of yourself. And that terrifies them, because here's the truth. People expect you to crumble when they walk away. They expect you to beg for closure, to fall apart, to prove that you need them. They feel powerful when they think they've broken you. But when you rise instead of break, when you rebuild instead of react, you shatter their illusion of control. Growth in silence is your loudest statement. You don't have to post quotes, make them jealous, or show off your success. You just have to evolve. The Stoics believed that inner mastery is the highest victory, not dominance over others, but over the self. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one stop trying to show them you've changed. Become the proof." Every workout, every new skill, every goal you achieve, every boundary you hold. That's power. That's healing. That's you saying, I don't need your validation to rise. And make no mistake, they will notice. They'll sense your energy shift. They'll feel that your world no longer orbits around them. They'll stalk your silence, because it screams louder than your words ever could. They'll replay the moments when they had your love, your time, your attention, and realize they took it for granted. That's their lesson to carry, not yours. Your job now is to continue your journey. Evolve so much that if they ever come back, they can't even recognize the person you've become. You are not the broken version they left behind. You are the healed, powerful, grounded version they never imagined you'd become. Your silence isn't revenge, it's rebirth. Today, commit to one act of self-growth. Hit the gym, read a new book, meditate, invest in your peace. Do something that builds you, not drains you. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence is my power. My growth is my revenge. Number 8. Your absence teaches them value. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your absence is not a punishment, it is a lesson. When you stop showing up for someone who never valued you, you illuminate the truth they refused to see while you were present. They took your presence for granted, assuming you would always be there, assuming you would always forgive, assuming you would always bend to their will. But now, silence is your ally, and absence is your message. Without your energy, without your attention, without your time, they are left with emptiness. That emptiness is heavy. It's uncomfortable. It forces them to question their own behavior, their choices, and their appreciation of what they had. This is the power of stepping back. When you refuse to chase, when you refuse to explain, when you refuse to lower yourself for validation, you reclaim your life. Your energy is no longer spent on people who cannot see your worth. Every day you choose yourself, you build boundaries, you reinforce your standards, and you let your absence do the talking. The Stoics teach us that self-mastery is everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your absence is an exercise in this mastery. It strengthens your will, sharpens your self-control, and anchors your confidence. While they worry, overthink, or regret, you are growing, evolving, and thriving. Remember, your absence is not cruel, it is clarity. It shows them that your presence is earned, not owed. It teaches them that taking you for granted has consequences, even if those consequences are silent. The universe rewards those who respect themselves, and by stepping back, you honor your own value above anyone else's perception. Make a conscious decision today to protect your energy. Say no to distractions, detach from validation seekers, and invest in what builds you. Let your absence speak louder than any explanation ever could. You see, the most profound power is not in chasing, pleading, or explaining. The true mastery is in silence, in absence, in refusing to give your energy to those who fail to recognize your worth. Every day you choose to walk away from disrespect, entitlement, or indifference, you reclaim your sovereignty. You prove to yourself, first and foremost, that your value is non-negotiable. The Stoics remind us again and again, control what you can, your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, and release what you cannot. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery starts with you. Mastery begins the moment you stop running after validation and start defending your own peace. Your absence becomes your armor, Your silence becomes your sword, and your life becomes a testament to self-respect. Every tip you've learned here, from guarding your energy to letting absence teach lessons, to cultivating self-mastery, was not just about making them feel something. It was about shaping you into someone untouchable, someone who walks with unshakable confidence, someone whose power cannot be taken because it was never given away recklessly. Take action now. Decide today that no one will undermine your energy, question your value, or dictate your peace. Protect yourself, rise above, and let the universe see the strength you are cultivating all along. Let them watch from the sidelines while you grow stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. I am the master of my energy. My absence proves my strength. If you're ready to fully embrace this power, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join a community of warriors who choose self-respect over approval, mastery over manipulation, and growth over regression. Your presence is your power. Never let anyone make you forget it. Remember, silence is not weakness. Absence is not loss. Your strength is in your choices, and your life is in your hands. Stand tall, walk away when needed, and let your actions, or lack of them, speak louder than words ever could. Your absence has become their lesson. Now, let it be your legacy.